So I've put it under record. Okay, so we will just have it again. So I was discussing about the plastids. So the chloroplasts are an important plastids, and in the ecosystem they play a very important role because for the plants to be autotrophic, synthesizing their own food, chloroplasts play an important role. Okay, so they are double membrane bound organelles. So what are chloroplasts? They are double membrane bound organelles found in the mesophyll cells of the leaf. So we have already studied about the anatomy of leaf. So in case of dicot leaf, you find two types of mesophyll, palisade and uh, the spongy mesophyll cells. In case of the monocot leaf, it is only one type of cell, the spongy mesophyll you find. And each and every cell of the leaf will be uh, taking part in photosynthesis. They are filled with chloroplasts. So this parenchyma cells which are filled with chloroplasts, we call it as chlorenchyma or mesophyll cells we call it as. So leaf is the kitchen of the plant in which the mesophyll cells, each and every mesophyll cells will be densely filled with chloroplasts. So the chloroplasts are double membrane bound cell organelle, cell organelle found in the mesophyll cell of the leaves. So the shape of these chloroplasts, they are lens shaped, oval, spherical, discoid or ribbon-like organelles. Generally in plants, you notice them to be lens-shaped or oval. So in case of algae, you find that some of them are spirally shaped chloroplasts are there. There are discoid shaped chloroplasts. Ribbon-like chloroplasts are also there in case of the green algae and others. So length of this chloroplasts are 5 to 10 micron meter. As I've already told you, 1 micron is equal to 10 to the power of minus 6 meter. So width is 2 to 4 micron meter. So the cell organelle chloroplast has to be studied under electron microscope for details. In a normal compound microscope, you can see in this slide, this is how it looks. So you can't see the details of the chloroplast. In an electron microscope, you can see the complete details of the chloroplast. So the number of chloroplasts varies from 1. Example, in Chlamydomonas, the chloroplast is just 1 in number to 20 to 40 chloroplasts per cell in the mesophyll. See, such a small diameter, they have 20 to 40 chloroplasts in the mesophyll cell. Now, I already told you that it almost looks like American rugby football. Okay, so the rugby ball like it looks. Anyway, the chloroplasts are they are the lens-shaped or oval-shaped structures. So they have two membranes, the outer membrane and inner membrane. So the inner membrane of chloroplast is less permeable. Okay, the space limited by the inner membrane of the uh, chloroplast. So the space found within the inner membrane of the chloroplast, we call it as stroma. So the space found within this inner membrane of the chloroplast, we call it as stroma. In mitochondria, we call it as matrix. Here we call it as stroma. What does the stroma contains? It contains a number of organized, flattened membranous sacs. So these are coin-like structures. Okay, they are flattened membranous sacs. They are called as thylakoids. So these thylakoids are arranged one above the other like a pile of coins. We call that entire group as granum. Okay, so thylakoids are flattened membranous sacs. So we call it as thylakoids. So the stroma contains the flattened membranous sacs which are called as thylakoids. So the thylakoids are arranged one above the other to form a granum. Okay, so the membrane of thylakoids, they enclose a space. When you dissect them, they have a space within them, so called as lumen. So the chlorophyll pigments are present in the thylakoids. So the chlorophyll pigments are present in the sac-like, organized sac-like flattened membranous sac. They contain the chlorophyll pigments. So the thylakoids contain the chlorophyll pigments. So thylakoids are arranged one above the other like a pile of coins or in stacks, and we call it as grana, or we call it as intergranal thylakoids. Thylakoids are arranged in stacks called as grana or the intergranal thylakoids. So these flat membranous tubules, there are flat membranous tubules which are connecting this granum. So these flat membranous tubules, they are called as stroma lamellae or fret. So the you can see here the flat membranous tubules which are interconnecting the granum. So we call it as the stroma lamellae or fret, FRET. So they connect the thylakoids of the different granum. The stroma, they are going to contain double-stranded. So what does the stroma consist? The space, what do they consist of? They consist of double-stranded circular DNA molecule. They also have ribosomes of 70S type, and the enzymes required for the synthesis of carbohydrates and proteins, they are found in the stroma of this chloroplast. The ribosomes of the chloroplast are smaller, 70S, whereas the cytoplasmic ribosome would be 80S, because again, chloroplasts are found only in eukaryotic cells and especially eukaryotic plant cells. So the cytoplasmic ribosome would be 80S type, but the chloroplast ribosome would be of 70S type. That you should be aware about. Stroma also contains double-stranded DNA, circular DNA, ribosomes, enzymes required for the synthesis of carbohydrates and proteins. They are found within this stroma of the chloroplast. So that is what you have to remember about. So again, we'll be discussing this ultrastructure of chloroplast when we come to the plant physiology chapter of photosynthesis. We'll be discussing about that. So you have to remember, so the thylakoids are saccular structures, disc-shaped saccular structures. So these thylakoids are arranged one above the other to form a stack or a pile of coin-like structures called as granum. So the grana are interconnected by tubular structures, which we call it as fret lamellae, stroma lamellae or fret, we call it as. We can even call it as stroma thylakoids. Some of the books, they mention it as stroma thylakoids. But remember in your book, NCRT books, they have labeled it as stroma lamellae. Another name for the stroma lamellae is fret, F-R-E-T, fret. So what you notice here is you find both photosystem 1 and photosystem 2 in thylakoids, whereas only the photosystem 1 is found in the fret or stroma lamellae. So the photosystem 1, photosystem 2, they are involved in non-cyclic photophosphorylation. Only photosystem 1 is involved in cyclic photophosphorylation. So we will be discussing about those concepts later when we come towards the ultrastructure of chloroplast in photosynthesis topic. As of now, in the chloroplast part of it, you should remember they are having two membranes, outer membrane and inner membrane. So the inner membrane encloses a space called as stroma. Within the stroma, you find numerous what you call it as flat, contains a numerous organized flattened membranous sacs, which we call it as thylakoids. Okay, the membrane of thylakoid encloses a space called lumen. So there is a space within this thylakoid. So we call it as lumen. So the chlorophyll pigments are present in the thylakoids. The thylakoids are arranged like a stack of coins or a pile of coins. So we call it as granum. So these granum are interconnected by tubular structures called as stroma lamellae or fret. So here they have labeled it stroma lamellae, or it is also called as fret. Okay. So the next cell organelle that we are going to study is ribosomes. See, the ribosomes are non-membranous granular structures. That is the reason they are found both in prokaryotes and eukaryotes. So the ribosomes are non-membranous granular structures, and they are composed of ribose nucleic acid, ribonucleic acid and proteins. So ribosomes are composed of RNA and proteins, that is ribose nucleic acid and proteins. So they are non-membranous. They do not have any membrane. Ribosomes do not have any membrane. So that is the reason they are found in both prokaryotes and eukaryotes. We don't even call them as cell organelle. So double membrane cell organelle, we don't even consider them as they are cell organelle, but they are not double membrane cell organelle. They are non-membranous cell organelles. So they are granular structures which are composed of ribosomes are composed of RNA and proteins. So George Pellady, this is the person. George Pellady was the first person to observe ribosome in 1953. Before that, there was no knowledge about ribosomes. So they are the ribosomes were observed by George Pellady. So there is cytoplasmic ribosome and ribosomes within the cell organelle like mitochondria. You also find ribosomes within the chloroplast. Okay, so ribosomes they might be free found in the cytoplasm, or they might be found associated with the rough endoplasmic reticulum. You know, the surface of the rough endoplasmic reticulum has this ribosomes. So George Pallade, first time he observed the ribosomes. So ribosomes are non-membranous granular structures. They are composed of RNA and proteins, that is ribose nucleic acid and protein. So the free ribosomes you can notice in the cytoplasm, and ribosomes associated with rough endoplasmic reticulum. So these are cytoplasmic ribosome, but already we have discussed ribosomes within cell organelles like mitochondria, chloroplast. They also have ribosomes. The eukaryotic ribosomes, if you look into, it has two subunits. The larger subunit is 60 years and smaller subunit is 40 years. This is how they are fixed. So the larger subunit is 60 years and the smaller subunit is 40 years. So the ribosomes, eukaryotic ribosome has two subunits. The large subunit is called a 60 years subunit and smaller subunit is 40 years. Together they form 80S type of ribosomes. And I've already told you, S stands for Swedberg unit. It is the sedimentation coefficient value. S stands for Swedberg, name of the scientist, and it is a sedimentation coefficient value. Okay, so the 60S and 40S together they form 80S type of eukaryotic ribosome. Okay. So in prokaryotes, they are of 70S type with a larger subunit of 50S and a smaller subunit of 30S. Okay, so that they have not mentioned, but we have already discussed in the previous topics about the prokaryotic ribosomes, which are of 50S type, and larger subunit is of 50S type and smaller subunit is of 30S type. So we call this prokaryotic ribosomes as 70S type of ribosome. Eukaryotic ribosomes are of 80S type ribosome with 60-40, that is 60 is larger subunit is 60S and smaller subunit is 40S. Okay, so the cytoskeleton and other structures will be maybe cytoskeleton. I can complete it. Cytoskeleton. What is cytoskeleton? As the name indicates, it is found within the cytoplasm and skeletal framework they form. So the cytoskeleton, it is a network of filamentous proteinaceous structure present in the cytoplasm. So can you notice this almost network of filamentous proteinaceous structure found in the present in this cytoplasm? So they have this filamentous structures. So the proteinaceous filamentous structures network of it, we call it as the cytoskeleton. It provides mechanical support, motility, maintenance of the shape of the cell, etc. So you notice the cytoskeleton within the cytoplasm, it is a network of filamentous. So you can notice that they are all filamentous. It is a network of filamentous proteinaceous structure. So present in the cytoplasm. It is a network of filamentous proteinaceous structure present in the cytoplasm. The cytoskeleton provides mechanical support to the cell, motility, and maintenance of the shape of the cell is brought about by this cytoskeleton. So remember about the cytoskeleton. So we'll discuss about cilia and flagella in the tomorrow's class. So if you have any doubts or clarifications, you just let me know. Do you have any doubts or clarifications, students?
Sir,